sorry if you're hearing it again, but I'm going to keep telling everybody until the word gets out and people wake up. Anyhow, I would just, I'm going to reiterate some of the things that Jack has said. But I also want to say something else, because people have been asking me different questions. I posed a question in the Living Your Living blog pertaining to the cyber school issue and asked what could be done to bring the kids back into the classroom. And, you know, a lot of people said, well, improve the academics within the school district. There is absolutely no comparison between what the school district's offering and what the cyber schools are offering. So that answer makes sense. That question makes no sense to me. But I'm going to fill you in a little bit of the details that support that. First of all, the Pennsylvania Department of Education reports that in 2007 to 2008, 4 of the 11 cyber charter schools had unreserved, undesignated fund balances in excess of 25%, with one school having a balance greater than 69%. By comparison, school districts are prohibited by statute from having a cumulative unreserved fund balance of more than 8 to 12%. Cyber charter schools have no requirement as far as keeping their expenditures where they need. The Pennsylvania Department of Education reimburses school districts for less than 30% of their cyber charter school expense. Guess what? The local taxpayers, you make up the difference in the cyber payments that the state doesn't take care of. A 2009 report by the Center for Research on Education Outcomes at Stanford University, which is considered to be the first national study on student achievement in charter schools, found that 37% of charter school students had results that were significantly negative relative to the growth the student would have realized if they had attended a traditional public school. This one kills me. The lowest graduation rate for a school district in Pennsylvania is 36.14%, and that's at Greencastle Infant School District in Franklin County. The Achievement House Cyber School is 21.2%. According to the Department of Education, only 4 of the 11 cyber charter schools achieved adequate yearly progress from 2008 to 2009 under the requirements of the federal No Child Left Behind Act. Within the Ligonier Valley School District, children returning to the traditional classrooms after attending the cyber school have required additional means to bring them up to speed. The remediation requirements, a lot of them, you know, they'll leave in the 9th grade level, come back a few years later, and they've not gained any knowledge. They're still right there at the 9th grade level. I actually spoke with somebody who was a teacher and who deals with this on a day-to-day basis in the Pennsylvania court system. And she said, you know, parents are upset because their children are 18, but they're still in 9th grade. You know, and so they're not going to receive any more support. And she said, it's ridiculous. You are responsible for your child's education. By putting them into cyber school, that's your deal. You know, they should be up there. Put them into the schools where they're going to get the education that they need. Right now, there's about 120 Ligonier Valley students enrolled in cyber school. Last year, there was a maximum of 58. The actual cost to the district ranges anywhere from $9,200 to $15,200 per student, which makes the total cost in excess of $1.2 million. But as I mentioned earlier, truancy charges are on the rise. You know, this list just goes on. I just hope that if I'm elected to the school board, that I can do something to get these kids back. A long school ride, that's just not a legitimate excuse to cyber school. My son, he's 9. He's on the bus for almost an hour coming home. My 2 older children, I lived up in Cook Township. They were on the bus for an hour. Hey, there are things you have to deal with in life, but sacrificing education is just not worth it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Hutchinson. urban legend is? Okay, I'm going to talk about valley myths. We hear those all the time. Every school board meeting, we hear something that's an absolute myth. No substance to it at all. Number one, I'd like to say it is not, and I repeat not, the decision of the board to drill for gas on the northern campus. The gas companies make that decision. We can't go to them and say, hey, we want you to drill right here today and strike a good vein. One I heard the other day just totally blew me away. Somebody, a friend of mine came to me and said, a girl had called her and said, I don't want my kids going to the Barker building because it has dirt floors. You know, I don't know from schools, they didn't even have dirt floors. Another myth that's going round and round is that we're going to be closing the Laurel Valley Elementary School next. This board has never, and I repeat never, had a discussion to close the Laurel Valley Elementary School. You know, our crystal ball isn't telling us what's going to happen in the future about that either. But there's never been any discussion to build a complex on Route 30 west of Ligonier. We hear that one. The only time I hear that is at the school board meeting. It didn't cost the district extra money to prepare the baseball field at the high school for use this year. In fact, it's going to save district taxpayers money, you and I, going forward, because we're not going to have to pay a rental fee each year for the kids to play baseball or for the transportation to that off-site location. We hear that some of the things they ask board members, are they doing, or why aren't they doing this, leads me to believe some people think the role of a board member is to be an administrator. That is not the role of a board member. The district has an excellent chief school administrator, Dr. Holden, who was in the year 2008 unanimously elected to the position. And she's been doing a fantastic job ever since. In fact, I sometimes wonder how she maintains her sanity. One that I heard today, and I've added to my list from last night, so I have something new for those of you who were there last night. And it may be a myth that no administrators are being furloughed this year. As we've heard all evening, the budget hasn't been completed, so therefore we really don't know what the recommendation is going to be and where we're going to end up. And just as a matter of fact, there has been a reduction in administrative staff since Dr. Oldham was hired. And you folks will like this one. We hear it frequently. Why aren't we express busing students from Cook Township to school? Now, I'm not exactly sure how many buses we would have to put on out here to do that, because I can't think of any place that there's a cluster of students in Cook Township where you could do an express bus. And I said I would address the busing issue just a little bit, and I'm going to do that. From Cook Township and also from the north, there are a total of 16 bus routes. All of them but one travel over 100 miles per day. And that other one, the one under, is 85 miles per day. Now that's, counting the going and coming 2 times. Out of the top 8 bus routes, 5 from the south and 3 from the north, are over 121 miles. That's a lot of miles to travel. The longest bus route is a Cook Township route, 145 miles. The second highest, 144 miles. The third highest is the bus from Bolivar, and it's 135 miles.